Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I'm Sean, this is In The Mixer, episode 108 of our Isle of Man series. Now of course, this week very special, we're wearing this fantastic design from Jim G FM, his link is in the description below, for the Calm Zone. Go and check out their link in the description below as well. It's the Campaign Against Living Miserably. If you or anyone you know is struggling in the current environment, whether it's isolation, quarantine, losing their job, whatever else is going on in the world at the moment, there are some wonderful strategies, tips and tricks to help everyone's mental well-being, and they do a phenomenal job, so please go and give them your support. Now looking back forward to the Isle of Man, we're into the last 10 league games of the season. I think we've pretty much done enough to stay in the division this year, but that doesn't mean we don't have some massive fixtures coming up. We can only seemingly win games when we're not recording at the moment, and we've got two very difficult teams that we're playing against today, so that trend may actually continue in this episode. Let's jump in and have a look at how we've done. So as you guys can see, since that last episode, we've actually only played one game. It was a victory, but we are in 11th spot, 29 games played, 9 wins, 10 draws, 10 defeats, -2 goal difference, and 37 points. If you look at the schedule, of course, in yesterday's episode, we played Aston Villa, a 2-2 draw, which was very disappointing, and then a humbling 3-1 defeat to Arsenal. We then beat Leeds 2-0 in a very good performance. Altamiranda and Barbosa getting the goals in that one, and then we lost 3-1 to Bournemouth in the FA Cup. Bournemouth are a very good team. They're sitting 9th. They won the Carabao Cup, which is why they're already qualified for Europe. They created a lot of opportunities in this match. We didn't rotate all that much. We pretty much put out a strong lineup. We got an early goal to go ahead, but really, like second half in particular, they just put their foot down and just started peppering the goal. It's for that reason, looking at our remaining games, where we've got Brighton, who are in the top 4, Liverpool, who are of course huge, Man City, Tottenham, Chelsea, who already battered us once this season. We have gone with a slight tactical tweak. It's not anything out of the ordinary. We've just changed all the player roles to effectively be, what does that player want to do as their key role? So everyone's in their key roles, in their key functions, in their preferred roles, I should say. But the same structure as far as the team's concerned, same structure as far as the individual structures are concerned. It's just those individual player roles, giving them a little bit more control and seeing how they go. We're also trying to focus on some of the younger players in the squad. So if you look at like the sort by age, we're getting Ononyo out there, we're getting Senna out there, Rosero's injured or he'd be out there too. Torp's having a bit of a spell at the minute, but a lot of the players that you'll see playing are the younger ones in the squad as we're trying to continue to develop them. Realistically, I think from the remaining, 9 games to go, we need probably like maybe 10 points. Would be more than enough to see us stay in the division. I think we're going to regardless, just because West Ham, Wolves and West Brom are so far behind us at this point. But you can see Southampton, Leicester, they're kind of getting dragged into that battle. There's a little bit of a gap to Huddersfield, but even if they had a bad run of games, they could get dragged into it quite easily as well. We are 17 points clear of 18th spot West Ham. I think we will stay in the division, but we do need to start picking up some points to try and secure that as early as humanly possible, and it gives us a better position for next season, knowing that we'll have the additional TV revenue, knowing we'll have the additional money from transfers, staying under our wage budget this season, transfer budget we haven't spent this year. There's a whole bunch of different stuff that we are still looking to secure and get sorted before we head into what will be a massive transfer window for us as well. So first up is Brighton. They are in 4th spot. I have mentioned they're 2 points clear of Newcastle in 5th at the moment, and Liverpool in 6th. They're only 3 points behind as well, with a massive plus 33 goal difference, but they have defied all expectations this year. 18 wins. They're only 1 point behind Man City in 3rd spot. They're only 2 points behind Chelsea in 2nd, and they are only 9 points behind Manchester United at the top of the table. I think United will win the entire division because they just seem to steamroll teams whenever they feel like it. But Brighton, Newcastle, two sides that we wouldn't necessarily expect to be in the top 6 that are definitely challenging this year. And to be fair, looking at the last 5 years, like they've been in the Premier Division the entire series thus far. They haven't been relegated just yet, but they were 8th 4 seasons ago. They were 8th 2 seasons ago, 12th, 13th. So they've been around mid-table. They're definitely jumping up and performing at another level this season. We'll jump forward though, have a look at the two lineups. First and foremost, just realised I left my headphones on. We're going to leave them on now. This is going to be a headphones episode. But Kubis in goal, Sigurdsson and Greisinger as the central defensive partnership. Escobar is suspended for this one because of yellow cards. He's picked up, I think, 10 or 15 or something crazy throughout the course of the season. And Onyo at left wing back. Ben Chop will play as a fullback on defend on the right-hand side. Senna we've brought in to play as the deep line playmaker on defend. I wanted to keep that role in the structure, and he's the one that can do it as like a preferred role. So we're going to give him the opportunity. He has improved quite a bit throughout the course of the season as well. So we'll give him an opportunity in the last 10 games of the season. He'll play alongside Barbosa, who has dropped off a little bit in the second half of the season, but still an excellent player. and performing at a very good level. Aguirre will play at the 10, Londono on the left wing, Fessler on the right, and Altamiranda leading the line up top. Brighton have still got quite a few different players that are from the original database. Ben White, who starts at Leeds, I think on loan from Brighton. 34 years of age now, a very good ball-playing defender. And he's pretty much both-footed as well, which is always interesting to see, but a very good ball-playing defender and English if you're looking for one in your own saves. They've got Lasala at the base of midfield here, who comes through Tottenham's academy, it looks like, and has been at Brighton for 4 seasons. He looks to be a very decent little right back that they're playing in midfield. They've got Jude Bellingham, that's where he ended up, 28 years of age, still relatively young. 91 England caps and 12 goals internationally for him as well. He's been at Newcastle and Chelsea and is in his first season at Brighton, still yet to score for them, which probably doesn't bode that well for him actually finding the back of the net today. They've got Harvey Elliott out on the right wing, their highest average rated player for the season thus far. Of course, at Liverpool at the start of the save, which is where he spent the majority of his career before moving to Brighton in 2028, where he finds himself now 4 years later. You've got Diego Lainez on the left wing, who I think we've played against previously. The name rings a bell, but I'm not entirely sure why. At 31, still looks relatively decent. 19 agility, jumps out immediately. 16 flair, 16 technique, also very, very good. And leading the line up top, they've got Supriha, who is a Ukrainian, I think that badge is. It is Ukrainian striker, 32 years of age, 18 free kicks, 18 heading. Some impressive stats there. We'll see how he goes this season, having scored 11 goals in the division. But still quite a few, interestingly enough, quite a few actual players still in their lineup. Assertively, nobody expects us to get a result here, so let's go with that. Everyone's responded positively to that. We are playing at home. We are in our attacking structure. Everyone's comfortable in their roles. Can we try and get a bit of an upset victory here? Though Lainez has rounded the keeper inside 2 minutes, so maybe not the underdog story, maybe not the upset result. It's a very good touch, and to be fair, a very good touch around the goalkeeper as well. It's Bellingham who just hangs the ball back stick. He peels off on his knee, and then just the keeper, as he dives through midair, he just drags it around him, side foots it home into the empty net, and we have it all to do. They've got a corner here as well. Lainez, the goal scorer, to take. Centre with a good header away. Back to Lainez. Square ball around. Centre's going to go long forward, and thankfully the highlight comes to an end. Wide free kick, Elliott to take. Backstick towards Lasala. It's pinballing around, and Supriya has poked that one home for his 13th goal of the year. Disappointing there. We'll check out what happened here in 3 dimensions. We did try and sort out our wide free kick setup, our defensive structure in the last episode. Lasala puts it back across, and then it looks like Menegazzo, he didn't touch the ball, but he stopped Barbosa from playing at it, and it falls to Supriya at the back post and smashes it home. VAR's in play, so I can't imagine it was an actual foul given, but it looked a bit weird in the highlight there. 2-0 down. Oh, we're going to use our demand more shout here, and they've got another corner all the way back to Lasala at far post. Cut back to Bellingham and Lasala again. Menegazzo and Senna gets it away. Only as far as Lainez though. Back to Jose, and thankfully the highlight comes to an end. Okay, so using that demand more shout has given our focus. We haven't seen any further highlights as we get into additional time here in the first half. So half-time, 7 shots, 5 on target, 46% of the ball for us. They've had 5 shots, only 2 on target for their 2 goals, and 54% of the ball. Aggressively, I'm going to say, show me something else in the second half, and let's just see if we can get some sort of fight back going. Of course, we knew going into this one that Brighton are a very good side. You would expect the 4th place team to beat the team in 12th most days in the season, but if we can get a little bit of character building fight here in the second half, I think that'll go very well for us as we get into this very hectic run home. First highlight of the second half here. Londono's won the ball back and sends Altamiranda, who's got all sorts of clubs looking at him, into the channel. He's done very well to get around a couple and managed to keep the ball in play. Can he find the cutback? Beats one, and then White on the second time of asking, I should say, puts it out for the corner. A wonderful run. He just couldn't get that angle to find that finishing shot. Aguire's ball in is poor. Lainez played forward now. Brighton comes forward. Senna's gone through the back of him, which may potentially be... It's just a yellow card, but he has picked up a knock as well. We might have a look at those subs now. All right, we're going to risk it all. We're going to go with 3 subs after the hour mark, which probably means someone's going to get sent off or something like that. I'm just going to go with the yellow cards. I think that's probably the bigger concern than some of these match ratings that we're seeing here. So Torp's going to come on for Ronnie Senna just because of that yellow. He'll play as a central midfielder on defend, which is his preferred role. We're going to bring on the Wolf for Barbosa. Instead of that Messiah, we'll go to a deep line playmaker on support. And Sean Dixon will come on for Ben Shop at right wing back. And we're just going to passionately say, I have faith in you, get out there, make a difference. And Old Faithful after an hour, let's use our Get Creative shout as well. Let's see what we can pull back here. Though Brighton don't look troubled. Look at these match ratings. Green all over the place. Nothing we're doing seems to be causing them any grief at all. Into the last 10 minutes, we're going to need demand more just to try and give everyone focus through to full time. And if we can't win, let's at least try and limit them in the second half. Highlight here, it's going to start with Patton in the Brighton goal. Goes long forward towards Linez, and that front three just stays forward no matter what the set piece is. He's gotten goal side now as well. It's a lovely reverse pass to find him, and thankfully a good save from Kubis before it's scrambled away by, I believe, Dixon. 4 minutes to be added on. Wide free kick. Hamilton puts it back in. Hamilton is not his name. It's Harvey Elliott. Where did I get Hamilton from? Fessler, back to the Wolf. Last highlight of the game surely here as we enter the 3rd minute of additional time. Greisinger with a good header. Sends it into midfield. The Wolf does very well in traffic. White comes forward and takes the ball straight off him. Linez looks to send it in the channel. Dixon recovers. Kubis now work it out towards the left-hand side. Torp sends a ball to no one in particular, just effectively gives possession straight back and increases pressure. Bellingham out left to Lusala, sorry. Londono with an excellent tackle puts it out, and surely we're through the 4 minutes of additional time now. You can blow it whenever you feel like it, ref. Elliott with the throw, finds Bellingham. Torp wins it back, out to Miranda. Any late dramas here? Out to Miranda does quite well, but the referee calls full time. Brighton, you have to say, deserve 2-0 victors. 11 shots, 6 on target, 49% possession for Isle of Man. 15 shots, 6 on target, 51% of the ball for Brighton. Assertively, I'm going to say, we're underdogs, you gave it your best effort. Everyone has switched off. That is not a great team talk. And maybe I could have tried to do something to save it there by talking to the individual playing groups, but who could be bothered really at this point? So it does mean we stay in 11th spot. Thankfully, Leeds didn't pick up any points either. But I do think that probably means that we're not going to catch Everton. If we had maybe got 3 points, it would have made it interesting. We would have been 5 points behind them in 10th position, but they won today against Aston Villa. And I think that probably means 11th is the highest that we can potentially finish. Bellingham gets the man of the match award, an 8.6 match rating for that lovely assist early on to Linez. Senna's got a bit of a knock, but he'll be fine. Greisinger's got a bit of a knock, but to be honest, I think if he's available, Escobar will probably come back in for Greisinger anyway. We'll make that rotation on our bench. We'll give Senna the opportunity to try and get himself fit, which should happen because we've got a full 18 days before we play Liverpool. I won't drag you guys through all of that game stuff. We will use the magic of editing to jump ahead now and have a look at the 2 lineups. All right, just like that, we are nearly 3 weeks ahead, which is crazy. We did have quite a few players go and get called up for international duty with some of the youth sides. Alts Miranda picked up a knock, unfortunately. Greisinger is actually still away with the national side. And Rosero also picked up a knock, so he will miss this one. Alts Miranda's still on the bench. I don't really want to risk him. You see here, 3 to 7 days to go with pulled knee ligaments. I'd rather he was available for the whole thing. So Camara's going to come in, going to play as an advanced forward, which is his preferred role. It's not ideal going into an away trip to Anfield, but we'll see how we get on. Looking at the Liverpool side, they still have quite a few players actually that are from the original database. Juan Miranda over at left back, 32 years of age now, comes through Schalke. At the start of the stage, he's been at Barcelona, then Leeds, Atletico Madrid, then Liverpool. Looks to have had a very good career and still looks very good. Trent Alexander-Arnold still playing, wearing the captain's armband. Has been at Liverpool all the way through the database now, 13 years down the track. Still excellent technically, very good mentally. Physicals are slowing down a little bit, but that's to be expected with his age. He's made 453 appearances and scored 9 goals. Still playing at a decent level. They've got Noam Kenny, who they've picked up from Leeds at some point, via Norwich it looks like. And he's been there for a couple of seasons, anchoring midfield and doing quite well. They've got Sandro Tonali in midfield, who's turned into an absolutely fantastic player, 31 years of age now. He was at Juventus and then at PSG before joining Liverpool a few seasons ago, where he's been for quite a while now. Sergio Gomez, we've spoken about him previously, I think, last time we played Liverpool. A very good midfield playmaker at 31, still going strong. And Henry Blaze is their top goal scorer for the season. He's the man that actually got the goal last time as well. 19 dribbling is phenomenal, 20 agility, 20 determination. He is an absolute beast that they picked up from Inter via Spal. So he'll be one that we'll have to keep an eye on. Calmly, I'm just going to tell everyone we owe Liverpool after what happened in our last match. I think it was a 3-1 defeat, maybe a 2-1 defeat. I can't quite remember, but they were definitely the better side when we played them at the DW Stadium. And hopefully we can get an improved performance today to kind of show how much better we've gotten throughout the course of the year. Ball forward here from a highlight. The first highlight of the game, I should say. Kubis has gone long forward. Kamara's a little bit better out of the air than Alts Miranda usually is. The knockdown header for Barbosa is good, but we have lost it out. Valia comes forward for Liverpool. Senna tries to stand him up, but he still works the ball out right to Blaze. And Onye does very well to win it back and play it forward to Camara. who's one out, needs to wait for support, but he's gotten through a couple of challenges and then goes the drive from the edge of the area. It never looked like it was troubling the goalkeeper for placement or power. Placement is one word. I don't know why I've said it like it's two. Ball back post towards Gomez, and Salas has knocked it home. So a wonderful set-piece delivery from deep there from Salas, really in that kind of half area where you maybe expect a keeper to come get it, maybe think the defence might drop and pick it up. He does start very high, Kubis, but Mena initially hits the crossbar, and Salas, first one to the rebound, smashes that one home. I'm not sure what that trade is that's making that happen. We have a lot of goals that we're conceding lately where we're second to the rebound. Ball pinballing around here from the corner, and Barbosa thankfully gets it away. Gomez have another crack at it from the set piece, and Kenny with the header that time well and truly over. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but like the last couple of games, last couple of episodes, we've had a lot of goals that we've conceded from either saves that nobody gets to the follow-up, or like balls that maybe deflect and nobody gets to the follow-up. Gomez with a wide free kick, and Kenny that time gets it home. We're 2-0 down now inside the first half. We're going to assertively use our demand more shout just to try and give everyone some focus through to half time. And again, it's set pieces causing us the issue. So it may not necessarily be our setup. We went through and kind of adjusted things to get our setup right and get the right people behind the ball where we need them, but it just doesn't seem to be working. It might be a one-to-one thing where our young players aren't necessarily concentrating that much out of the air. Again, they've hit the crossbar from a set-piece scenario, and maybe that's an improvement that we have to make during the off-season, a bit more set-piece training. Throw in here very deep on the left-hand side. Escobar heads it away. Aguirre's going to recover possession and looks to send it up the channel towards Abubakar Kamara, but Liverpool have recovered possession. All the way back now to the keeper. Now back into midfield. Tonali and Kene swapping passes. Ball out left now to the goal scorer Salas. Fessler does very well to knock it back, but only as far as the fullback. Mena all the way back to Carmo in goal. Very calm, which is ironic given his name is Carmo. Blaze now, right-hand side, cuts inside one challenge and gets the strike away. Kubis thankfully equal to it. And it's not been a good first half from us. 13 shots, 4 on target, 56% possession for Liverpool for their 2-goal lead. 2 shots, 1 on target, 44% of the ball for us. Aggressively, I'm going to say, show me something else in the second half. At least everyone's responded positively to it. And really, let's just try and get some character back, lads. Can we hold them goalless in the second half? Can we try and get some highlights of our own? Is there anything we can do to signal that we may eventually get to Liverpool's level? Keeping an eye on the rest of the division, Man United beat Chelsea during that brief gap that we had, so they are well and truly clear, 8 points above Man City in second spot. This would see Liverpool kind of secure 6th place. You'd think Arsenal are a fair bit behind in 7th. They're still trying to catch Newcastle though, so looking around at their results, Newcastle aren't playing today, and I haven't noticed, but the game has just flown through to the 80th minute. Flick on header, Kubis does very well. Let's look at our tactics here. Quite a few players struggling. Fessler hasn't had a good game. We'll bring on Jimmy Winter. Aguirre's had a poor game. Might push at Barbosa a little bit further forward and bring on Torp to play alongside in midfield. And then Anonye we might hold on to. Just that last sub. Just in case anything silly happens, we'll let these guys play in their preferred positions, which for Winter is a winger on support and Torp a central midfielder on defend. Does mean it's a more defensive midfield structure than perhaps we're used to. And the highlights continued. We did have a brief shot in there while I was busy making subs. Probably should have let that highlight play out before we looked at it. We're going to demand more last 10 minutes. Let's see if we can't find some focus here and just keep them at bay. Throw in, left-hand side. Anonye finds Barbosa. Back to Anonye again towards Kamara near post and Calmo equal to it. Is that the end of the highlight, or are we going to see some more here? He's bursting forward and he's looking long towards Blaze. Back into Kenny and Valdo. No one's gotten anywhere near Noam Kenny in this second half, or really in the entire game, it must be said. They have been able to pick out balls over the top and out wide from deep in midfield all afternoon. Bismarck cuts it back towards Salas, back stick, and he's found the finish. 19th goal of the season for Miguel Salas. Cuts in on his right foot. It's a double for him on the day. And it's just, I think, shows the difference in class between the two sides at the moment. If we have a look at him, he's very, very good. An elite striker. They're playing him on the left-hand side in this game. 28 years of age. Whole bunch of Spanish caps, 17 finishing, technique, whatever else. 19 determination, 20 vision. Good physical attributes as well. I think that kind of just goes to show the difference in player that we're working with. We've got players that may potentially get to that level, but they're a long way from it, whereas they've got the finished article and it's shown today. 3 minutes to be added on. I don't think there's going to be too many more highlights because that time is rocketing by and we're through it now. Liverpool deserve victors. What can you say? 28 shots, 10 on target, 61% of the ball. We had 4 shots, 3 on target, and 39%. I might not wear these headphones again. Maybe the headphones are a little bit unlucky. Assertively, I'm going to say far from pleased, and at least everyone's responded positively to that. Camera seemed demotivated, but we're in a relentless run of fixtures. You might have seen it flash up there. Our next game is against Man City, who are in second spot. I'm glad we've got the points we do and aren't reliant on getting results against these bigger sides. Salas with his double gets an 8.9 match rating. Liverpool, you must say, were fairly dominant in that one. And as we look forward to our schedule, we'll play Man City and Tottenham off screen, I think, mainly because we're probably going to lose both those games. And then we're going to come back and play Leicester, who are down in 17th, and Newcastle, who are in 5th, which will bring us into our last 5 games of the season. And hopefully by that stage, if other results go our way, we will be well and truly clear of any of the relegation spots. You can see somehow we're still staying in 11th position, despite the 2 additional defeats we've had in this episode. Leeds also seemingly struggling to get points. Norwich also struggling to get points. And it must be said, Everton haven't picked up that many points so far in the second half of the season either. They could have been well and truly clear of us, but thankfully, everything seems to be going our way in terms of other results. And realistically for us, I can't see us beating Man City or Tottenham in current form, but maybe that Leicester game would be huge to try and reverse our fortunes, reverse our form run. And then that Newcastle game, that away trip to St James Park, is going to be very tough as they look to try and secure European football for themselves as well. As with all our episodes this week, the main focus is supporting Jim GFM, who designed this fantastic shirt, but also the Calm Zone. There are links in the descriptions to both his channel and their content, and Twitter and all that other great stuff as well. Please go and check them out. Maybe not even for yourself, just for other people in your life that might be struggling in the current climate and the way things are today. But from me, more than anything, thank you so much for watching. That's the part I appreciate the most. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.